Hello, I'm Danny Barnts with the CCAA, and we're here today with the head coach of the Cal State Dominguez Hills men's basketball team, Steve Becker. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for taking the time to do this with us.
Absolutely. Well, you guys are 5 games into your season right now. Had an opportunity to watch your team play a little bit, which is a unique time as we're doing this season preview a little bit ways into it. But I'm just hoping you could tell me what you've learned about your team so far this year.
Yeah, we have a really good group of guys. We're still very much coming together as a group right now. Um, you know, just such an early point of the season, right? And so we've played really well against Concordia Irvine on the road and played at the tempo we'd like. And then, had a couple other games that were a little bit of a letdown in that regard in terms of playing our brand of basketball and what that looks like and building consistency in that. So, at an early point in the year, I really like my guys. We've had some injuries, we're still trying to kind of roll with the punches with. And so we have 3 guys out right now that are logging substantial minutes and good players for us. And hopefully they can kind of begin to work themselves back in and get cleared. But no, we really like our team. We do have a good amount of newcomers that are logging some substantial minutes and learning some of the things that go with finishing basketball games and being consistent at this level and all of those things.
So has that been tough as you have had to replace a significant number of starters from last year and some of your all conference guys as well? Just how has it been kind of coming together? And on that same note, you made a run to the conference semifinals last year. Do you feel you got a good core that you can build off that, or is it a whole new team that you're having to kind of start again?
Yeah, you're exactly right. So it's a great group of returners who are stepping into bigger roles. And so learning how to do so and carrying the load, heavier load, so to speak, is very much kind of where we're at right now and learning how to step into those bigger roles. And so, no, we do return a good quality group of people and guys that logged substantial minutes last year on that semifinal team. And so absolutely looking to build on that. And I absolutely think that, as we work out some of these kinks that you hope that you're through at this point, but obviously still at a very early point in the season, once we work through all of these things, I think we'll be playing our best basketball, when it matters most. And I really do believe in this group of guys. We do have a great deal of, our identity is a bit of a defensive minded with a lot of versatility. And so we're working through how to take advantage of that versatility and being consistent in being everyday contributors. And so some of those things are, going in the right direction.
Fantastic. I see that you guys also are second right now in the conference in 3-point field goal percentage defense. You guys have really been pressing up on those guys. Is that something that just goes with your style, or is that something that you guys emphasize as kind of one of the changing parts of the game right now?
Yeah, we felt like we wanted to amp our pressure up this year. And we wanted to just build a bit more of a foundation from a half court man-to-man defensive team. And so that's been a major focal point at an early point in the year for us and stuff that we've really been working hard on. So no, that's absolutely like philosophy wise what we're really drilling home right now.
So you can go through and you can look at a box score or the stats and kind of find out what the Toros are good in. Like you said, some of the strengths with defense and some of the toughness, block shots and things like that. But if I were to ask you from a coach perspective, what doesn't show up in the box score? What doesn't show up in the season stats that are the strengths of this team?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is something that kind of shows up in the box score. But, last year we were very reliant on, returning all conference guys who carried a substantial load offensively for us. And this year his identity is very much of the ball moving and trying to take advantage of what the defense is going to give us through versatility and through multiple guys making decisions and reactions. And so the first strength I would say from an offensive standpoint is just our versatility. We have depth at several positions. It's been difficult for me to kind of iron out some of the rotations where, I think that's a good problem to have. In previous years, we hadn't had the luxury of having that. So, yeah, I think the versatility is absolutely one. And we have a group of guys that have been with us now for 3-4 years. We have a handful of them. And so, like I said before, it's those guys stepping into larger roles. And, I think you have great intentions with this group. You don't have 2, 3, 4 guys, that are hunting shots. You have guys that want to win. And I think you have great intentions with this group, like I mentioned. So still working through how to maximize those things and trying to work towards playing our best basketball. But, I do really like those qualities about our group.
No, that's fantastic. Thank you. So basically, you guys have obviously season started a couple weeks ago, but you guys have probably been in conditioning since September. Your first practice was October 15th, something like that. You probably, I don't know what your perspective was coming into the year and things like that, but what has surprised you about the team? Something maybe you didn't expect to have from your team when you stepped on the floor in October 15th that is now a part of your team?
Yeah, I think the newcomers have done a nice job of blending and kind of checking the egos at the door. Sometimes that's not always so simple or so effortless. And so little small things like, when we had Thanksgiving, they had Thanksgiving Day off, which is not something we usually have had the luxury of doing in the past. But they scheduled a entire team potluck Thanksgiving amongst themselves prior to everyone going back, and everybody made it a priority to get that time together before they got to their families. And I thought that spoke volumes about how close this group hopefully will be and will get and really complement each other as the season goes on. I thought that was a great sign in terms of just them investing in each other outside of basketball when the coaches aren't demanding it of them.
Thank you. That's great. I usually like to ask the question of what do you want? I'm just going to ask it to you, even though I think you've given it to me already. So let's say in February, somebody from the GNAC was scouting your team. They're having a conversation on the side. What do you want them to say the identity of your team is? I think you talked about it a little bit with the versatility and the defensive mindset, but is there anything else you'd want them to kind of say that this is what the Toros are about?
Yeah, I'd hope that they say that team really likes each other. That team supports each other. That team plays really hard. The Toros look like they're connecting on all cylinders, not because they made a shot, but because they played the right way and the ball moved to the open man and they competed and they were tough. Those are some of the things that I would hope, my team and this group really represent at the end of the season.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, one other one. You guys have some conference games coming up this week, December 1st. But let's be honest, throughout the season, you don't want what your team is right now to be who it is March 1st. You want to continue to improve. You want to continue to get better at every single practice. What do you think are some key steps for improvement really between now and March 1st that can help make your team better?
Yeah, we need to rebound the basketball much better. And that's a collective intention. And that's an area that I'd really like to see us improve on. And guys are still becoming confident and comfortable within the flow of the offense and how the ball needs to move and some of those things. And so, I think those are things that we'll continue to get better and we'll continue to iron out and make an emphasis and a priority. And, learning how to win before you're your best version of yourself. And you're not playing your best basketball yet is where we need to get to, right? So we're working towards that on a daily basis.
Fantastic. All right, final question for you. What do you and your team want to accomplish during the CCAA season? What are maybe some of the goals you have set out for your team?
Yeah, I mean, from a, bigger than basketball picture, I want our guys to have a phenomenal experience. I want to take them places that they talk about with each other for years to come, and you know, create memories together. You know, for me, I think we were picked to, I want to say, finish fourth in the conference by the preseason polls, and you know, all the coaches know that stuff doesn't, you know, it's a nice credit to the group, but you earn those things, and our conference is always so darn strong that really from anywhere from 2 to 6 is wide open and very much up for grabs, and if you're playing at a high enough level, then you got every opportunity to try to win the league. And so, you know, for us, it's about establishing ourselves in the top tier of this conference. And I think we've taken a step towards doing that, but I think there's a jump that needs to be made that we're working towards every day. And so, you know, I want my guys to have the experience of playing in the NCAA tournament, and that's always something that drives me from a competitor standpoint.
That's fantastic. And like you said, that's always good to have those high goals. And like you said, give those student athletes that experience that they can talk about for years in the future. That is what college athletics, especially Division II, is all about. So, Coach, just thank you for taking a couple minutes to just share your perspectives and just give a little insight into the Toros and their 2022-23 season. Good luck the rest of the season, and look forward to hopefully seeing you again in March.
Thank you, Danny. Appreciate your time.